Cinnamon,
Because you believed in yourself.
Everything about this is bad.
Well, that just put me 90 minutes closer to death. It's time you kids learn to watch the classics from my day.
Ooh, old people movies. Get ready for references we don't understand and words we can't repeat.
Little Gift Shop of Horrors is one of Gravity Falls' most interesting episodes, to say the least. In terms of fan reception, it's, according to IMDb, the 5th lowest rated episode of the show at a 7.8 out of 10 stars. Most fans have a very mixed perception of the episode. Some are kind of not interested in the episode due to its non-canon nature, which is considered not canon by the Gravity Falls crew, and the overall canonist nature of the show. And the way the episode even plays out is not really canon, really, to be honest. So it's not really regarded as canon. And I think that sort of sets the precedent towards how fans perceive the episode too, because most fans are not hugely enthusiastic about Little Gift Shop of Horror. It's the Halloween special that you can skip after your first watch of the show. It has some interesting creative moments in it, but that's kind of really it for it. It's not a super memorable episode compared to, say, Now We Seems, or even the episode that comes right after it, which is The Society of the Blind Eye, which is arguably one of Gravity Falls' most important and best episodes. However, what Little Gift Shop of Horrors does have is one of, if not, the most creative moments in the entirety of the show, which occurs in the mini episode within the story in the episode known as LAKEY, which is, if you need a recap, is the episode where Mabel, we learned that she has a fear of stop motion animation and puppet like claymation figures, and so the team goes to the house of a well-known claymation animator to help Mabel overcome her fear. But as we find out, the claymation figures actually are alive and sentient and are actually really horrifying, and the whole episode is about Mabel overcoming and then becoming even more terrified of her fear, but understanding that it's rational. And the episode is, as you can tell, because of that part of the episode is done in stop motion animation. So the monsters that we see at the manor of Harry Claymore are all actual stop motion. And the stop motion for this episode was done by the folks over at Stupid Buddies. Stupid Buddies is an animation studio, and they worked on a lot of shows in the past, such as Robot Chicken, various Marvel projects, and more. And Gravity Falls was one of those projects that they did. And very recently, I got in touch with one of the stop motion animators at Stupid Buddy who worked on the Gravity Falls episode. Ethan Marak is a stop-motion animator who worked on the Clay Day short, and he was really instrumental in working on the episode and has worked on various big, important films in the past, such as Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, and he even won a Primetime Emmy for his work on Robot Chicken. So I basically got in touch with him through Instagram. I asked if he would be down to answer a couple of questions I had, and after a few days he responded, and I emailed him my questions, and after a while he got back to me, and here's the questions that I asked him and his responses to that. How did you get involved with Gravity Falls, and were you a fan of the show beforehand? I was working as an animation director at Stupid Buddy Studios when this project came my way. The studio producers would cast animation directors to projects that were a good fit, and my known love of classic stop-motion animation in the Ray Harryhausen style made them consider me for the job. Alex Hirsch mentioned in the GF box set that they contacted you directly about working on the show. What was the process like? As I recall, Alex was very into the idea of using stop motion for this episode, and he was very enthusiastic and excited visiting the set and seeing all the puppets and sets. When we translate an established 2D animation to stop motion, there are a lot of creative considerations and decisions that need to be made for the design and animation style to work. As I remember, Alex trusted us to guide that process and was flexible with any small limitations that came up. Additionally, he mentioned that Disney originally did not want to do stop motion due to the cost, and so Alex said he inquired about frame-by-frame costs and looked through everything that was done to see if it would fit the budget. How did the whole situation affect the filming, and in turn, what was it like working with Alex and the GF team? I wasn't involved in any aspect of the budgeting for the project, so I'm not sure what give and take with Disney occurred to make the numbers work for stop motion. I don't remember feeling like the shoot was underfunded. How much creative freedom did you have in regards to the episode? Were things planned out beforehand, or did the crew let you come up with ideas for the stop motion as you went along? The team themselves provided character designs, storyboards, and backgrounds. It was our job to create the puppets and shoot the animation in a way that fit into the background plates convincingly. I can't remember for sure, but I think GF did the final compositing themselves. Everything else is meticulously planned out in stop-motion animation so that we don't spend time building or shooting anything that isn't going to be on screen. We had a lot of freedom as far as the style of the animation, and we were going for a cartoony look that worked for GF, but also paid homage to Harryhausen, which meant paying more attention to the weight and subtleties than we might have had on other projects. Were there any scrapped, deleted, or cut aspects of the animation that did not make it into the episode? These can be scenes that are either planned out or animated that never made it into the final episode. Not that I recall, no. Would you be okay with sharing any behind-the-scenes photos, videos, memories, stories, or more from your work on the episode that you would be okay with being public? These can be of the shoot, interesting stories or trivia about it, crew reactions, setup, etc. I completely understand if that's not possible, but it would be great to see the animation process for this episode, sets, characters, etc. I'll let you know if I ever find the behind-the-scenes photos I took. And I should also mention that those behind-the-scenes photos were indeed found and are playing right now here. Do you still own the models or sets made for the episode? If so, what condition are they in, and if it is possible, could a photo or photos be provided? I checked with the studio, and as far as I can tell, the puppets were given back to Disney at some point. There was a brief period where I remember the puppets were on display in the lobby of Stupid Buddy Studios. Overall, what are your thoughts of working on Gravity Falls, the episode overall, and the show later on? If Alex or another GF crew member from it were to ask you about helping to work on a new project, be it for GF or another show, would you do it? I really enjoyed working on the episode, and it is a standout project for me. It came out really beautifully, and the GF team was really kind and respectful to us, and genuinely interested in our process. I'd absolutely partner with Alex on something else if it came up. One final extra question. Did you work on the mini stop-motion bumper for Disney XD as well? If so, what was that like, and what ideas were made for it that perhaps did not make the final promo?
Nice!
Yes, I directed that spot. It was another really cool project that gave us the ability to bring GF to life in stop motion. The stand puppet was amazing and looked so good, and our animators really brought him to life. We went through an extensive design process for the XD logo creature before deciding on the version you see in the spot. The goal was to make it look convincingly as a taxidermy creature that Stan would have built, and work in as many little eyeballs and body parts as possible that could move around. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. Ethan afterwards did send me the photos that he found at the Stupid Buddy Studios. Sadly, however, there were some photos that I'm not allowed to show. These were basically stills that were done, provided to the studio that were used to make the stop motion animation. Basically what is I hate to not be able to share is that there were some absolutely incredible photos that were basically development art of the episode. And you basically, like, I'm looking at them right now, and I'll try to describe to you what I see is like, it's the outline of like showing the colors of the various stop motion figures, and the difference is that everything that I'm seeing is actually animated images. So these were the actual animated versions of the stop motion figures, and basically the goal of Stupid Buddies was to then put these and actually stop motion animate these figures to then be appearing in the show in that form rather than the animated Gravity Falls style that it appears. And basically another photo that he sent me and a couple of frames of were frames from the actual version of the episode where you can see the storyboard animations of these various monsters. So they're not in stop motion form, but they're actually animated. They're not in color, but you can see the animation working for them, and it's actually kind of pretty cool to see because like they animated every single frame of the episode, and they basically got the crew at Stupid Buddies to then stop motion animate the exact same thing, and that was overlaid onto the animation, so we don't see the actual animated version, but we see the stop motion, which is just incredible. And I have a feeling that this version of the episode does exist, but of course it's never going to be shown to the public because that is internal stuff, and I obviously can't show you what I see as well, given this property of Disney. Don't worry, I didn't actually see an actual like video of the episode. Like I was just sent 2 screenshots of the episode in terms of that sense. So I'm not in possession of any major Gravity Falls content that has never been shown to the public, so it's not like that. But that's about it. I want to give a huge thank you to Ethan for reaching out and for being able to do these questions and answer them and give really interesting answers. It was a lot of fun to do this. I learned a lot more about this episode, and it's given me a new appreciation for it, because up until this point, Little Gift Shop of Horror was only really known to me as, oh, it's that episode that Neil deGrasse Tyson voiced Waddles in. That's really all I knew this episode about. So to be given a new appreciation for the stop motion aspect of this episode was really fun to learn, and it really has made me even more appreciative of the art of stop motion animation. It is one of the best parts of this medium that I love. The amount of time and effort that gets put into stop motion is insane, and the result is some of the most beautiful work you can see. Like even like as Ethan's work has shown, like, you know, from like comedic things such as Robot Chicken to some of those beautiful things out there, such as any Tim Burton movie. Like, you just know stop motion is just beautiful, and it's incredible to have been able to learn more about this whole process from someone who actually has worked on this episode and is a member of that part of the industry. So yeah, that's basically it for me in terms of this video. I hope you learned something new through it. Some bigger and exciting videos are on the way, so stay tuned for that. Oh, I'll also leave a link in the description below to some of Ethan's personal work. Outside of his work on Stupid Buddies, he does some really great work for 70s and 80s sci-fi type creations on his Instagram profiles. There's some really cool things, like I'm looking at it right now when I was getting in touch with him, and he's done some really cool designs and work. Like, it's so 80s and retro, and I just love it. And yeah, please do go check it out. He is an incredibly talented person, and it was really fun to talk to him. But yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.